A crimson sunrise reveals a world forever changed. After Earth's greatest mass extinction, silence blankets the landscape. Yet beneath the scars of catastrophe, the first resilient plants begin reclaiming the barren land, marking the dawn of a new age. Across a vast floodplain, a herd of Lystrosaurus slowly searches for fresh vegetation. Their survival against impossible odds makes them living symbols of resilience, carrying life forward when nearly every other species had vanished. Seasonal rains awaken the land as primitive ferns and lycophytes spread across once lifeless ground. These fragile plants become the foundation of a recovering ecosystem, offering hope that nature can rebuild even after unimaginable devastation. Among fallen logs and dense undergrowth, a small Archosauriform stalks insects with remarkable patience. Every cautious step reflects the rise of a new generation of predators whose descendants will one day reshape the history of life on Earth. The camera rises above forests, rivers, and open plains where countless survivors slowly rebuild a shattered planet. Piece by piece, isolated lives reconnect into a functioning ecosystem, proving that recovery begins long before it can be seen from afar. A shrinking river draws together reptiles and surviving synapsids from every direction. While each animal comes seeking water, the gathering also creates silent tension, where every drink carries the risk of becoming another creature's opportunity. Powerful winds sweep across the recovering continent, sculpting fresh landscapes from ancient scars. Dust, shifting soil, and changing weather constantly reshape the environment, forcing every survivor to adapt to a world still struggling to find balance. Hidden beneath the earth, a family of small cynodonts finds safety inside a carefully constructed burrow. Their protective behavior and close family bonds reveal early traits that will eventually appear in the ancestors of modern mammals. As daylight fades, the recovering world changes once again. Shadows conceal silent predators that emerge with the evening, while every movement in the fading light becomes a careful balance between hunting, hiding, and surviving another night. Morning returns to a landscape growing richer with life. Fresh vegetation spreads across the floodplain as animals cautiously resume their daily routines. The long recovery continues, laying the foundations for the extraordinary world still waiting to evolve. Fresh rainfall transforms the floodplain as dormant plants awaken across the recovering landscape. What once appeared lifeless now bursts with new growth, providing food, shelter, and the first signs of a thriving ecosystem beginning to take shape. Temporary pools teem with primitive insects that flourish after the rains. Though tiny and easily overlooked, these resilient creatures become an essential food source, supporting the rebuilding food web from its very lowest level. Soft mud preserves fresh footprints left by small Archosauriforms exploring the floodplain. Every track records a silent story of movement, caution, and survival. offering rare clues about animals rarely seen in the prehistoric landscape. Beneath the murky surface of a quiet river, an ancient aquatic predator waits without movement. Patience becomes its greatest weapon, proving that survival often depends on perfect timing rather than overwhelming speed or strength. The rising sun reveals a landscape transformed by recovery. Rivers nourish expanding forests while animals appear in growing numbers, demonstrating that millions of years after catastrophe, life has once again found its rhythm. Small herbivores travel together toward newly emerging vegetation after seasonal rain. Their constant movement spreads grazing pressure across the landscape, helping shape the recovering ecosystem while reducing competition for limited resources. Ancient dead forests stand beside flourishing young conifers, creating a powerful contrast between extinction and renewal. The scars of the past remain visible, yet every new branch reminds us that nature never stops rebuilding. A pair of cynodonts fiercely protects their young from an approaching predator. Their coordinated defense reveals complex parental behavior that foreshadows the nurturing instincts seen in many mammals millions of years later. Multiple species gather carefully around a life-giving river, each driven by the same need for water. Herbivores, predators, and scavengers briefly share the same fragile space, where survival depends on constant awareness rather than conflict. The first chapter closes with a sweeping view of a recovering continent alive with possibility. Forests expand, rivers sustain countless creatures, and resilient survivors prepare the stage for the extraordinary evolution that will soon transform Earth forever. Millions of years pass, and the recovering planet enters a new chapter. Braided rivers, towering conifers, and endless fern meadows now support richer ecosystems, creating the perfect stage for a new generation of reptiles to emerge. As the landscape stabilizes, agile archosaur-form reptiles begin spreading across the floodplains. Faster, more adaptable, and increasingly efficient, they quietly establish themselves as some of the most promising survivors of the Triassic world. At the edge of an ancient woodland, Pangaea pauses to scan its surroundings. Every movement reflects constant vigilance, balancing the search for prey with the ever-present danger posed by larger predators sharing the same habitat. A massive apex predator silently dominates the floodplain. Rather than relying on speed, it uses patience, camouflage, and perfect timing, demonstrating how large hunters once again shape the balance of this recovering ecosystem. Herbivores adjust their daily movements as predators reclaim their role within the food web. Every migration route, feeding ground, and resting place is carefully chosen, where survival depends on avoiding danger as much as finding food. Among the expanding Archosaur lineage lie the ancestors of creatures that will eventually dominate Earth. Though still small and unassuming, these reptiles carry evolutionary traits that will define the coming age of dinosaurs. Ancient rivers carve fertile corridors across the continent, bringing together countless species. Water shapes every journey, every migration, and every encounter, becoming the lifeline that supports an increasingly complex prehistoric world. Competition grows as neighboring archosaurs establish overlapping territories. Displays of posture, scent marking, and cautious patrols reduce unnecessary conflict, proving that survival often depends more on communication than direct combat. An enormous Erythrosuchus advances with remarkable patience through the fern-covered floodplain. Remaining almost invisible until the final moment, it reminds us that the deadliest predators rarely rely on speed alone. The Middle Triassic has become a world of growing stability. Predators, herbivores, and early archosaurs now occupy distinct ecological roles, creating a balanced ecosystem that prepares Earth for one of evolution's greatest transformations. Across fertile riverbanks, rival archosaurs establish overlapping territories. Every call, posture, and cautious patrol helps avoid costly battles, conserving precious energy in a world where survival rewards patience over reckless aggression. An enormous Erythrosuchus moves almost unnoticed through dense vegetation. Every deliberate step closes the distance to its prey, proving that stealth and perfect timing can be far deadlier than raw speed. No creature can afford a moment of distraction. Herbivores graze with heads constantly lifting toward the horizon, while predators quietly observe every movement, creating a landscape where awareness is often the difference between life and death. Ancient rivers continue carving paths across the recovering continent, nourishing forests and floodplains alike. These waterways guide migrations, concentrate wildlife, and become the lifeblood of an increasingly complex Triassic ecosystem. As populations recover, competition for food and territory intensifies. Species adapt through specialized diets, improved mobility, and changing behaviors, allowing multiple animals to coexist within the same expanding environment. Small evolutionary advantages begin separating future winners from those destined to disappear. Stronger limbs, sharper senses, and more efficient movement gradually reshape the balance of power across the prehistoric landscape. Seasonal changes transform the floodplains throughout the year. Rising waters, shifting vegetation, and changing temperatures continually reshape habitats, forcing every species to remain flexible in an unpredictable world. Predators, scavengers, insects, and plants become increasingly connected within a growing food web. Every feeding event, fallen tree, and flowing river supports countless hidden relationships that keep the recovering ecosystem alive. Young reptiles cautiously explore their surroundings under the watchful eyes of experienced adults. Every lesson learned through instinct and observation increases their chances of surviving long enough to continue their ancient lineage. The Middle Triassic is no longer defined by extinction, but by opportunity. Across forests, rivers, and open plains, countless species are adapting to a changing world, setting the stage for the extraordinary rise of the first true dinosaurs. A massive predator advances with remarkable patience, using the landscape itself as cover. Every careful step reflects millions of years of evolutionary refinement, where precision and stealth prove far more valuable than reckless pursuit. Small herbivores move together across open floodplains, relying on the safety of the herd. Countless watchful eyes improve their chances of detecting danger long before a hidden predator can launch its deadly attack. Dense conifer woodlands shelter an expanding variety of life. Insects, reptiles, and primitive vertebrates occupy every layer of the forest, transforming once barren ground into one of Earth's earliest thriving terrestrial ecosystems. Braided rivers continue nourishing the recovering continent. Their shifting channels create fertile habitats where plants flourish, prey gather, and predators patiently wait, making every stretch of water a center of prehistoric life. Every species faces constant environmental change. Those capable of adjusting their behavior, diet, and movement survive, while less adaptable competitors slowly disappear, allowing evolution to reshape the balance of the Triassic world. Subtle body posture, cautious movement, and territorial displays replace unnecessary conflict. Long before complex voices evolved, prehistoric reptiles already relied on silent signals to defend resources and avoid dangerous confrontations. With ecosystems growing richer each generation, countless ecological niches become available. New species rapidly evolve to exploit fresh food sources and habitats, accelerating one of the most important recoveries in Earth's history. The recovering landscape now supports predators, herbivores, scavengers, and insect life in remarkable balance. Increasing biodiversity strengthens the food web, making the Triassic world more stable with every passing generation. Small differences in speed, endurance, and awareness slowly determine which species prosper. Natural selection works silently across millions of years, shaping descendants that will dominate ecosystems long into the future. The world no longer resembles the devastated planet left behind after extinction. Stable ecosystems, flourishing forests, and increasingly advanced reptiles now prepare the stage for the extraordinary rise of the first true dinosaurs. Across vast floodplains, recovering forests stretch farther than ever before. Rich vegetation supports larger animal populations, while every new habitat creates fresh opportunities for species determined to claim their place in the evolving world. An alert Archosaur pauses, studying every sound carried by the wind. Survival depends not only on strength, but on patience, observation, and the ability to recognize opportunity before it disappears. The changing seasons reshape rivers, forests, and open plains. As food sources shift across the landscape, entire populations migrate in search of better conditions, keeping the recovering ecosystem in constant motion. Without words or calls, reptiles communicate through posture, movement, and carefully controlled displays. These silent signals reduce conflict, protect territory, and allow neighboring animals to coexist with surprising efficiency. Predators no longer dominate every encounter. Healthy herbivore populations, flourishing vegetation, and abundant insects create a balanced ecosystem where each species plays an essential role in maintaining stability. As animals travel across soft floodplains, they reshape the environment itself. Trails, burrows, and feeding grounds gradually influence plant growth, water flow, and the distribution of countless smaller organisms. Fallen trees, shallow pools, and rocky outcrops provide shelter for countless smaller creatures. These overlooked refuges become thriving microhabitats, supporting remarkable biodiversity beneath the towering Triassic landscape. Young reptiles venture farther from the safety of their nesting grounds. Every successful hunt, narrow escape, and cautious exploration strengthens the instincts that will guide them through an increasingly competitive world. Archosaurs continue expanding into new environments, occupying ecological roles once held by older reptilian groups. Their versatility and adaptability quietly prepare them for an evolutionary future unlike anything Earth has seen before. The Middle Triassic is entering a turning point. Stable climates, flourishing ecosystems, and rapidly evolving reptiles are laying the final foundations for the extraordinary age that will soon belong to the dinosaurs. The recovering continent now supports forests, rivers, and vast fern plains teeming with life. Every habitat offers new opportunities, allowing an extraordinary diversity of reptiles and early vertebrates to expand across the landscape. Each footprint pressed into soft mud tells a story of survival. Animals constantly adjust their routes, avoiding danger while searching for food, proving that even the smallest decision can determine life or death. Towering conifers cast long shadows across the forest floor, where smaller reptiles search quietly among roots and fallen branches. Hidden beneath the canopy, countless unseen interactions keep the ecosystem alive. Competing predators share the same hunting grounds by relying on different strategies. Some pursue prey across open floodplains, while others remain perfectly still, waiting for a single opportunity to strike. As older plants wither and decay, they return vital nutrients to the soil. Fresh vegetation quickly replaces them, demonstrating how every stage of life contributes to the remarkable resilience of Earth's recovering ecosystems. Changing climates reward animals capable of adjusting their behavior. Flexible diets, efficient movement, and sharper awareness allow certain species to thrive, while less adaptable competitors slowly fade into extinction. Predators, herbivores, scavengers, and insects occupy different ecological roles while depending upon one another for survival. Together, they create a balanced food web that grows stronger with every passing generation. No dramatic transformation happens overnight. Across countless generations, tiny inherited advantages slowly accumulate, producing stronger bodies, faster movement, and greater intelligence through the quiet power of evolution. Archosaurs continue expanding into forests and floodplains once dominated by older reptilian groups. Their remarkable versatility allows them to exploit new habitats, steadily increasing their influence across the recovering continent. The Middle Triassic has become a world of remarkable stability and growing biodiversity. Beneath this peaceful balance, evolution is quietly preparing one of the greatest biological revolutions in Earth's history, the rise of the dinosaurs. The Triassic landscape has become a thriving mosaic of forests, rivers, and open plains. Every habitat now supports a growing diversity of life, reflecting an ecosystem that has largely recovered from Earth's greatest extinction. As the first light reaches the floodplain, Archosaurs begin their daily search for food. Their alert posture and deliberate movements reveal highly refined survival instincts shaped by millions of years of natural selection. Camouflage offers one of nature's greatest advantages. Blending seamlessly into the surrounding vegetation, both predator and prey rely on concealment, turning every hunt into a quiet contest of patience and perception. Beneath towering conifers, insects, reptiles, and small vertebrates occupy a hidden world rarely seen from above. Every fallen branch and patch of ferns provide shelter, food, and opportunities for countless smaller species. Every meal requires energy, and every hunt carries risk. Predators carefully weigh each opportunity, while herbivores remain constantly alert, knowing that a single mistake could end millions of years of evolutionary success. Flowing rivers nourish the recovering continent while guiding seasonal migrations across vast floodplains. Wherever fresh water appears, life follows, making these ancient waterways the foundation of every thriving Triassic ecosystem. No environment remains unchanged forever. Rising temperatures, shifting rainfall, and evolving landscapes continually test every species, rewarding those capable of adapting faster than the world around them. Young Archosaurs now explore territories once occupied by older reptilian groups. With each generation, inherited adaptations strengthen their survival, quietly preparing them for a future few competitors can match. Predators regulate herbivore populations while plants recover through seasonal cycles of growth and renewal. Together, these relationships maintain the delicate equilibrium that allows the Triassic world to flourish. The recovering planet now stands on the edge of another evolutionary milestone. Across every forest, floodplain, and river valley, the foundations are quietly being laid for the extraordinary Age of Dinosaurs that is soon to begin. The recovering continent now supports an astonishing variety of life. Forests echo with movement, floodplains teem with activity, and every habitat contributes to an ecosystem that grows stronger and more resilient with each passing generation. An experienced Archosaur pauses before every step, studying the slightest movement in the surrounding vegetation. In this ancient world, sharp senses and careful decisions often prove far more valuable than speed alone. Seasonal floods reshape the land once again, leaving behind fertile soil that nourishes expanding forests. These repeating natural cycles sustain countless species and maintain the balance of the Triassic ecosystem. Tiny reptiles, insects, and amphibians thrive beneath towering vegetation. Though easily overlooked, these small creatures support the food web from the ground up, providing essential links between plants and larger predators. Motionless among dense ferns, a predator waits with extraordinary patience. Every breath is measured, every movement controlled, until the perfect moment arrives and silence suddenly gives way to explosive action. Different species occupy the same environment by exploiting separate resources and behaviors. This ecological specialization reduces competition, allowing biodiversity to flourish across forests, rivers, and open floodplains. Generation after generation, successful adaptations accumulate almost unnoticed. Stronger limbs, improved balance, and sharper awareness gradually transform entire populations, shaping the future of reptilian evolution. Archosaurs continue spreading into new territories, steadily replacing older reptilian groups. Their remarkable flexibility allows them to thrive under changing environmental conditions. strengthening their influence across the continent. Predators, herbivores, scavengers, and decomposers now interact within a mature and remarkably stable ecosystem. Every species contributes to the continuous recycling of energy that sustains life throughout the recovering world. The Middle Triassic has become a world filled with opportunity. Hidden within its flourishing ecosystems are the evolutionary foundations that will soon give rise to the first true dinosaurs and forever change Earth's history. What was once a devastated wilderness has become a thriving continent filled with life. Rivers nourish endless forests, while countless species occupy every ecological niche, creating one of Earth's first truly stable post-extinction ecosystems. Seasonal migration routes stretch across floodplains and river valleys as animals follow changing food supplies. These ancient pathways connect distant habitats, allowing species to spread, adapt, and strengthen their populations. Perched above the landscape, alert reptiles constantly scan for movement below. Every shadow, sound, and shifting breeze carries valuable information, reminding us that survival begins long before predator and prey ever meet. Beneath every forest lies an invisible network of interactions. Plants feed herbivores, predators regulate populations, and decomposers recycle nutrients, sustaining an ecosystem whose true complexity extends far beyond what the eye can see. Each new generation inherits subtle advantages from the last. Over millions of years, these nearly invisible changes accumulate, producing stronger, faster, and more adaptable reptiles prepared for an increasingly competitive world. Animals shape their environment as much as the environment shapes them. Grazing, burrowing, hunting, and migration continually transform the landscape, influencing the evolution of countless other species sharing the same world. Archosaurs now dominate more habitats than ever before. Their expanding diversity signals a major evolutionary shift, as ancient competitors gradually decline and a new lineage prepares to inherit the planet. Forests, rivers, wetlands, and open plains no longer exist as isolated habitats. Together they form an interconnected ecosystem where every species contributes to the remarkable balance that defines the Middle Triassic. Although true dinosaurs have not yet claimed the Earth, the conditions that will allow their success are already in place. Evolution has quietly prepared the stage, waiting only for the next great chapter to begin. The Middle Triassic closes as a triumph of resilience and adaptation. From the ashes of extinction emerged a thriving world, where the ancestors of dinosaurs stand ready to transform Earth's future in ways no creature could yet imagine. Millions of years after the greatest extinction, the Triassic world stands transformed. Flourishing forests, winding rivers, and resilient wildlife reveal how life rebuilt itself through patience, adaptation, and the relentless force of evolution. The creatures roaming these floodplains are more than survivors. Hidden within their genes are the evolutionary foundations of future dynasties, linking this recovering world to the extraordinary animals that will soon dominate Earth. From tiny insects beneath the ferns to powerful reptiles patrolling the floodplains, every species plays a vital role. Together, they maintain a balanced ecosystem where even the smallest life contributes to the survival of the whole. The Triassic landscape appears peaceful, yet evolution never pauses. Every generation introduces subtle changes, quietly refining bodies, behaviors, and survival strategies that will shape the future of life on Earth. For millions of years, natural selection has tested countless adaptations across changing environments. Most disappear without a trace, while a fortunate few become the blueprint for entirely new branches of evolutionary history. Although dinosaurs have yet to dominate the land, their ancestors are already thriving. Across forests and floodplains, early Archosaurs continue expanding their influence, preparing for an era unlike any that has come before. Ancient rocks preserve more than fossils. They record the remarkable recovery of an entire planet. Every sediment layer reveals how Earth's ecosystems slowly rebuilt themselves after nearly all life had vanished. The Triassic story reminds us that even after unimaginable catastrophe, life possesses an extraordinary ability to recover. Through persistence and adaptation, fragile beginnings gradually become thriving ecosystems spanning an entire continent. The recovering world has reached a remarkable turning point. Stable climates, flourishing habitats, and rapidly evolving reptiles now prepare the stage for the first true dinosaurs to emerge and forever reshape Earth's history. As the sun sets over the thriving Triassic landscape, one chapter quietly comes to an end. Yet beyond the horizon, evolution is preparing its greatest masterpiece. The Age of Dinosaurs is about to begin. The Triassic is no longer a land struggling to survive. Across forests, rivers, and endless floodplains, life has rebuilt itself into a vibrant and interconnected world shaped by resilience, adaptation, and millions of years of change. The reptiles roaming these landscapes are quietly rewriting Earth's future. Though few would recognize their importance today, they carry the evolutionary blueprint that will eventually give rise to the first true dinosaurs. Every generation inherits a changing world and leaves behind another. Through countless cycles of birth, survival, and extinction, evolution continues its endless journey, shaping life with remarkable patience and precision. Predators, herbivores, scavengers, and plants now exist within a stable ecological network. What began as scattered pockets of survival has grown into a balanced ecosystem, capable of supporting extraordinary biological diversity. The scars of the greatest mass extinction have not disappeared. They remain etched into ancient rocks and landscapes, reminding us that even the darkest chapters of Earth's history can become the foundation for new beginnings. The true triumph of the Triassic was not strength alone, but adaptability. Species that embraced change flourished, while those unable to evolve slowly vanished, leaving only the most resilient lineages to shape the future. Long before colossal dinosaurs dominated the Earth, their ancestors quietly refined the traits that would ensure their success. Every small evolutionary step brought them closer to becoming history's greatest terrestrial rulers. The Triassic teaches that recovery is never immediate. It unfolds gradually across millions of years, driven by countless small victories that together rebuild entire ecosystems from the brink of total collapse. The world now stands at the threshold of another extraordinary transformation. Stable climates, flourishing habitats, and rapidly evolving reptiles have prepared the perfect stage for the next great chapter in Earth's story. As our journey through the Triassic comes to an end, another is about to begin. From these resilient survivors will emerge the first true dinosaurs, launching an age that will dominate our planet for more than 160 million years before changing Earth forever.